News Talk, 95.1 FM and 790 AM. We are KFYO Mornings. Dave King and Matt Martin here on your radio. We've been talking about this $7 million software package that the county of Lubbock County is looking at buying. And so we were wanting some information on that. And we did get in touch with Jason Corley, who is on the phone with us this morning. Jason, of course, is the Republican candidate for Lubbock County Precinct 2. Good morning, Jason.
Morning, guys. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing well. How are you?
Oh, can't complain. Wouldn't do any good if I tried, but yeah. We'll get through the day.
So I know that you've been following this because I've heard you multiple times say when we were talking about them lowering the amount of money they're giving the sheriff's department and whatnot, you said watch the software companies, be paying attention to that. So I know you've been following it. What is the big deal about this?
Okay, so we voted in the effective rate. That's a good thing. That's great. I'm glad our commissioners did that. They heard their voters. We voted in the effective rate, which gives you the same dollar amount to run the county as it does as the previous year. So normally, when you're in a county that's growing, like Lubbock County is, that lowers your tax rate, which is a good thing. So if you've got the same dollar amount each year to work with, then you've got to start moving the money around. So why did our commissioners want to cut $2.5 million out of the sheriff's budget? You know, that struck me as odd. You know, that sent up a huge red flag right there for me. Then we got to looking into it a little bit more, and we found out about a technology committee they got put together. And what they were looking at was other software companies to help run the county. You know, like anything else, any big corporation, you've got proprietary software that you use. You know, most big companies, you've got accounting software, you've got document software, stuff like that. Lubbock County is no different. Currently, all of our technology software stuff was being provided by Keycore. Local company, originally founded, I want to say 20-something years ago.
So by local, do you mean in Lubbock?
Yes. Their old office used to be catty corner from the courthouse. Anyways, new office is over by Academy, I believe. Anyways, so that's who we were using. Now, don't get me wrong, Tyler Technologies is a local company as well. They started out here also. And before we get any further, I'm not bashing the Tyler Technologies. They make excellent software, just like Cadillac makes an excellent car. So that's kind of the question here is how much money do we need to be spending on this software? You know, when we've got something that's older and a bit reliable, but, you know, do we need to make this big upgrade right now? So our commissioners, I believe they moved about $9 million into the contingency fund. And then out of that, it looks like we're going to be spending $6.9 million to pay the upfront costs for Tyler Technologies. And from what I understand, Tyler Technologies intends to charge us another $500,000 a year. Right now, that's what they've discussed. But what is not getting discussed is the conversion costs. So basically, Keycore writes in their language, and then Tyler Technology writes it in theirs. You know, and they've got different programs. Well, you need to be able to transfer that data over from Keycore to Tyler Technologies. And in order to do that, you're going to have to pay Tyler Technologies, and you're going to be paying Keycore at the exact same time. My biggest concern of this entire process has been the fact that in the Keycore contract with Lubbock County, it does not specify a dollar amount that Keycore can charge Lubbock County for that conversion fee. So to me, if it's not written in there, that means it's negotiable. It's debatable, and the sky's the limit. Problem is they've already got the data. The county owns the data, but it's written in their language. So they can charge us whatever they want to transfer that over.
Okay, and
that's my big concern.
Jason, there's one other thing. Are we having to break a contract with them?
So Keycore's contract does not expire until September of 2019. If we break that contract, that puts us on the hook for a lawsuit as well. Okay. So that's my other concern there. And don't know what that lawsuit will entail. So if you don't have it under contract, sky's the limit. And now you're negotiating with somebody who already has a better contract, or who's got a contract in place right now that puts the county at a disadvantage. Keycore, you look at that Keycore contract, there's no provision in there for transferring data over. This is an oversight on the county's part from 20-something years ago, I guess. Personally, I feel the best thing to do would be to go ahead and sign a new contract with Keycore for 1 year and get that provision in there to say, okay, this is the agreed upon dollar amount if we decide to transfer. Go ahead, draft a new contract, and then once you get to that point, then go ahead, bring in an expert. I wish we had hired some sort of consultant, somebody who has done this before, and brought them in and said, okay, what's the pros, what's the cons, let's weigh this stuff out. Because one of the things that keeps coming up is, especially over at the jail, Keycore has built some very specific software to help operate our jail. Tyler Technologies does not have a competing product for that. It's not like the difference between an F-150 and a Chevy 1500. They don't offer that.
So does that mean we could potentially be paying both companies anyway to keep the software over at the jail running?
That is my concern. So if we have a Keycore product over there and we can't get away from it, then we're going to have to continue to pay them until we can, A, pay all over again to have something new built, or B, wait for Tyler Technologies to develop a product for that. But you have to remember, Tyler Technologies, they sell they're not set up just to deal with Lubbock County or the city of Lubbock. Their products are sold all over the entire state and the nation. Okay, so they are going to have to find a market for that product in order for them to justify developing, that software to turn around to sell to Lubbock County. But if we're the only ones using it, we've got this one-off, software product that we use. They don't really have a strong incentive to go ahead and develop that for us unless we want to pay, for them to custom make us some software, which is going to have a custom price. So when I say custom, think of it this way: is you ever watch those car shows where they go in, they build a hot rod for somebody, and that car winds up costing $50,000, where you could have gone and bought something off the lot for $25,000-$30,000. That's kind of what you're looking at here.
Yeah.
So either we're going to be paying Tyler, or we're going to be paying.
It's hard for me to imagine that there is buying a $7 million piece of software and then $500,000 a year to operate it. What all does it cover?
So this software, you've got one of the we're actually using some Tyler Technology software already. A product called Encode, which is used for billing. That's already in place. But what the other products that we'll be buying from Tyler Technology is going to be software that allows information, case files, data to go from the sheriff's office to the county clerk's office to the DA's office. It's supposed to make it a very seamless transition there for that stuff to move around. Think of like going paperless, or say you buy Microsoft.
Well, I got all that, but $7 million? My word! How many? It would take like a whole team of people to spend $7 million.
Well, okay, so Dave, I know most of us, we buy a new laptop, we find out it doesn't have software, so you go pay $400 or whatever it is for Microsoft Office, and you load it on there, and you go, good Lord, that was a lot of money for, one little thing. When you start scaling that up and you start talking about, counties, municipalities, large corporations, you're going to start getting into custom software, which does not have a buyer that you could just sell at Best Buy or wherever. You've got a very specialized customer, so that drives up the price for it. The other thing that it does,
Jason,
is this stuff has to work. It has to work right.
Yeah, Jason, we're pushing up here to a break, and so we're going to have to let you go. Man, we do appreciate you taking the time to talk to us this morning, and good luck on your upcoming election.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right,
thanks for calling in, Jason.